What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and some spicy news here on a Monday. I've got 5, maybe 6 videos for you today. We've got some traveling to do this week, so you might see some fun on location stuff with some familiar faces, but I don't want to spoil that for you. All I will ask is that you remember to leave a like and a comment on this video. And if you're watching it and you aren't yet subscribed, there's a red subscribe button down in the lower right-hand corner of this video. Please do consider clicking it. I hope I've earned your subscription today. Now, there's a pretty spicy rumor going around Gina Carano and her return or possible return to the Mandalorian in the Star Wars universe. I've reached out to Gina to ask her directly about this, but I'm not sure she could answer me one way or the other at this point. But there has been some positive moves over the past few weeks. In fact, just a few days ago, Gina Carano revealed that her Bear Grylls episode will, in fact, air after all, suggesting the original rumors were, that Disney Plus wanted to cut Carano's episode of Bear Grylls. That isn't a rumor. We know this to be true. This was, the episode was conspicuously missing from the season's lineup, and we see Gina Carano, in fact, tweeting that, yes, of course, want to hear something cool? Just so happens you will be able to see my Bear Grylls episode on Nat Geo after all. Bear is a real one. I'm so glad you're going to get to see it. It's on Nat Geo May 10th, 9 p.m. I will be watching. I think if you're a fan of Gina Carano or you support her, let's make sure that we get that as the highest rated episode of Bear Grylls' show of the season. So I think this is a Saturday. Let me see. The 9th is a Sunday. So a Sunday at 9 p.m. Make sure that you watch it or that you record it. And let's make sure that we get huge stats for Gina. And, from what I hear through my sources, this was, Bear Grylls himself actually pushing forward to get the show reinstituted on the network. Back in March, multiple reports suggested that Disney Plus may had cut an upcoming episode of National Geographic's Running Wild with Bear Grylls that featured Gina Carano. It wasn't a rumor. It was clearly missing we knew that she had filmed it through posts that Gina had made and Bear Grylls had made. We know for a fact that it was not a part of the schedule and that it had been removed. But over the past couple of months, Gina has done a lot, I think, to garner a lot of favor with fans. I don't think that there are a lot of fans of Star Wars that didn't like her acting or didn't like her character. Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano, was universally loved by anyone I had talked to. And while The Mandalorian wasn't a perfect show, the season definitely had some issues, in my opinion. It was very, very good. And what it really did was really restore a lot of the faith that the Star Wars community had in Disney. Now, of course, probably that's a Filoni Favreau thing more so than a Kathleen Kennedy thing. But if Gina Carano is able to return to the show, that would be amazing. I think that I just want her back on the show, because I think even if you believe what she posted was over the line, which I don't, and I would also argue that Pedro Pascal made similar posts and did not get fired, even if you believe that, I think that we have to give people a path to redemption. I don't really like the idea of living in a world that there is no path to redemption for anybody. I mean, I'm telling you, even some of the people that I strongly dislike, in the video games media world, even Anita Sarkeesian should have a path to redemption. I know that might make you recoil physically, the thought of it, but I think you should think about a world without redemption and understand that is far, far worse. There's a pretty big rumor now that Disney's in talks to bring Gina Carano back to The Mandalorian, which of course would make Kathleen Kennedy look pretty bad. It seems odd to me, though, because I'm sure that Kathleen would be the one who would be able to make this call. However, let's see. A brand new rumor claims that Disney's in talks to bring Carano back as Cara Dune. And this, of course, comes from Overlord DVD. Now, I will say that he has been right in the past. He's also made a lot of really bold claims that either haven't come true at all or have yet to come true. I view, I think as a creator, I view him as a peer and I respect his body of work, but it is just a rumor at this point. He says, quote, I resisted saying anything about this largely because I had my doubts that anything would come of this. Disney certainly must have offended Gina with the alleged reason for her dismissal, namely so-called insensitivity to the Jewish community, which, given the context of her tweet, was an unfounded objection. Now, I would say if Disney were to bring her back, I would argue that there's almost zero chance that there would be any kind of an apology issued. In fact, they might make Gina do it, which she may not be inclined to do. I certainly would understand not wanting to, at this point, after having your name dragged through the mud and after, having moved on. She's got her stuff going on with the Daily Wire. It's not like Gina Carano is short on cash. She could probably start a YouTube channel and make millions of dollars a year doing that if she wanted. So, I don't know. Now, I think for the fans, you might, ultimately, selfishly, I would love to see Carano back. But, that's just me. It goes on to say, Disney and Lucasfilm, by the way, this is via boutingintocomics.com. Disney and Lucasfilm fired Carano through a 2-sentence press statement. It read, Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Disney added, nevertheless, the second part is the frustrating part. Her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural identities is abhorrent and unacceptable, except she had not done that. And that was really a frustrating zinger to put at the end of that. The social media post in question was an Instagram she shared. We already know exactly what it was. And we've already dissected a million times. Was it, how do I say this? For me, there's absolutely zero wrong with what she posted. Also, not really that far off from what her co-stars had posted multiple times. In fact, way less inflammatory than what Pedro Pascal had posted about half of this nation. But knowing the way things are in Hollywood, I understand the outcome. I don't agree with it, and I don't support it, which is why Disney stopped getting my money. But I understand it. I've been covering this stuff for 4 years. So as for Carano being offended by Disney, she made it clear when she joined Ben Shapiro on his show, by the way, in his own words, the most Jewish guy in February that Disney fired, she told Shapiro, I'm not the only one that's ever been bullied by this company, and I know that so deeply. I could share a story that would turn things around in the media, but I can't because it would sell out a friend. Everyone is afraid of losing their jobs. I entirely believe her. Gina does not strike me as a dishonest person. She strikes me as somebody who brings the receipts. Not only did she sit down to talk about her firing with Disney with Shapiro, she was also announced that she would be teaming up with the Daily Wire to create and produce her own film. Those of you out there that have seen Run, Hide, Fight tell me it's a solid film. And I think that, I talked about this, I don't know, was it on a live stream? I think it was on a live stream where, conservatives are saying, like, even my fellow content creators, you got Shapiro, you got even Tim Pool, who really isn't a conservative, but says, like, we need to start creating our own culture. I don't disagree with that. But what I don't want is like cringe conservative films. You know what I mean? Like, I want the same product. I still want Super Troopers. I still want to laugh. I still want to be entertained. I still want movies like Nobody to be created. I don't I don't think there needs to be more specifically conservative films. There are a place for them. I'm not saying they shouldn't exist, but I'm worried about that. Like, I don't want to see films like roasting the libs. Like, that's not what I want. I want better stuff getting created by people who happen to be conservative and have actors and actresses in it that happen to be conservative. But I don't want them to be preachy, because I'll criticize that for the same reason I criticize the modern Hollywood, preachy stuff. She says she announced that the project through Deadline, the Daily Wire, is helping make one of my dreams to develop and produce my own film come true. I cried out and my prayer was answered. I'm sending out a direct message of hope to everyone living in fear of cancellation by the totalitarian mob. I've only just begun to use my voice, which is now freer than ever before, and I hope it inspires others to do the same. Carano concluded, they can't cancel us if we don't let them. Overlord DVD recognizes that Carano signed with the Daily Wire, saying, I was just afraid Gina had moved on and would ultimately decide not to return. That said, I may have some very good news to bring you today. A source has come forward claiming that Gina is talking to Disney about returning, and proof of these talks have already materialized. As reported in my last Pop Culture Breakdown episode, Disney officially uncanceled Gina Carano's episode of Running Wild with Bear Grylls on Nat Geo. Carano confirmed that it was uncanceled on Twitter. Now, we don't know what was the conversation that was happening in the background, but maybe this is to test the waters and see if the mobs have calmed down more. While he cites this as proof, he also says, but there are more proof out there in the wild. Cara Dune toys are back. Fans have been tweeting out pictures of Cara Dune toys on shelves again at Walmart. Later, he states, these two developments are earth-shaking for Star Wars fans as well as fans of fair play everywhere. There could be no doubt that there has been a movement in Disney's attitude towards Carano. Otherwise, neither of these developments would have come about. Now, certainly these toys could have been in transit for a very long time, or they were clearing their warehouses out. I've seen no official statement that we've restarted creating Cara Dune character or toys. But hey, I hope they do. He then addresses what a source told him is regarding Gina's position towards Disney. As for Gina's attitude towards Disney, she could possibly agree to a return. According to my source, all of this springs from the fact that Jon Favreau himself has put his neck on the line and has been using his influence behind the scenes to try to make this right again. With the Kennedy camp going after Gina and the subsequent confusion on Disney's part, believing that Kennedy's camp was putting out there in the media, Jon Favreau has been playing a game of 4D chess with the help of concerned investors to prove that Gina equals fans equals money. He added, John knows that getting Gina back needs to happen, not only because he wants her back and it's the right thing to do, but because Gina was unfairly characterized to the point of slander by all this nonsense. But he also, because it's part of the story Jon Favreau has planned. As for what Favreau has planned in detail, a big sprawling tale of galactic intrigue across a number of different series, building towards what fans hope to be the ultimate erasure of the sequel trilogy. He concludes, Jon Favreau gets it. He's on the side of the fans. Fans want Cara Dune, and John wants Gina Carano. So it's looking good for the future of Star Wars if this rumor is valid. Well, hey, all I can say is we better show up on Sunday night for Running Wild with Bear Grylls. Maybe I'll even live stream a watch party or something to kind of make sure and remind everybody that we need to get together and support this. I hope that these rumors are true. I hope that Carano can come back and we can get back our Cara Dune. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.